as Aisha indicated, there's been a lot of sex talk as characterized discussions in Parliament, with some members expressing worry over the increasing cases of teenage pregnancy in the country. Member of Parliament for the Futu constituency, Alexander Fenyo Marking, made some very bold suggestions. Just watching.
We must educate them and let them know that you must not have sex. These are the consequences. However, Mr. Speaker, we must equally tell them that if you want to do it, protect yourself. Insist. Let the man use condom.
Of his suggestion, and also where and how did you get sex education and at what age?
Those who are prepared now to have sex with their wives, and then those who have sex with their husbands, then they can be using it. But to give it to these children is then to tell them not to use it. Then why do you give it to them? You draw their minds to sex when you give them those things. Just what I believe is that advise them, stop them from reading books that will lead them to doing sex.
Me, I don't think it's right, but with the kind of kids we have now, even when you educate them or even advise them, you get a percentage of them doing it, going back to do their own thing. So I believe even after talking to them, and you still get some of the percentage doing it, then fine, fair enough, they can distribute it for protection against sexually transmitted diseases, because you can tell, some parents say their words down, don't do it, tell them everything, but they will still go out, meet their peer groups, and they will be influenced negatively.
They need to come out to tell us that it's teenage pregnancy among teenagers, or teenage pregnancy, is teenage pregnancy very common with teenagers in school or teenagers outside school? Those in school are getting the education, they understand what they're after in life, but
they still involved in sex.
it is very true, but the point is, what is the purpose? Is it to protect them, or protect them against diseases, or to prevent unwanted pregnancy? If the aim is to prevent unwanted pregnancy, then please, those who are teenagers are not in school, they need the condoms. Because
but what's the last month?
This conversation.
So what is he talking about?
This conversation is a conversation that must be had.
It must be done
yeah.
with this thing, you know.
Let's get on Facebook. And James Abusanga says, I never had sex education until I began having strong feelings for sex. Sex education should be backed with Bible scriptures and scientific evidence to make children aware of the dangers involved spiritually and scientifically. Dixon says, I agree with you, but you must say religious text, not Bible. Okay. Dennis Black says, for my dad, a day after having my first sex at JHS2, was raped by a lady.
Like, seriously?
Oh, wow. Adia says, it is a lie. Papa Began says, there, were you there? Okay, so he's asking that if he was there.
It was a man,
if he was there. Okay, so let's move on to what you're trying to advertise on. Now, Emmanuel Joseph says, I had a mother who was never shy to talk to me about sex, so I had my sex education pretty young from my mother, and I'm proud of her for that, because I still use that knowledge she impacted in me. So I urge all parents not to shy away from sex education. Henry says, as a virgin SHS student, I had to rely on people like Charles Mason, C.K. Howard, Lawrence Champong. By the time I completed, I was a graduate, though the practical part had to wait till I entered training school. Good night. I did that. Come with me. So C.K. Howard comes and says, savage. Lord Savage. So it was Maxwell Odai. So the gentleman who reacted first, he was actually mentioned in the okay. So Norton says, at school during those science and social studies lessons, I was also a part of the young and wise group of the PPAG. Okay,
yeah,
back then in junior high school. So I learned a lot from there, and it really helped. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
I don't know if that group is still.
It's still there, because I was also a member of PPAG.
Younger ones.
Yes, at a point.
Okay. So you learned a lot.
Yes, definitely.
At what age
really
did you start learning?
I think it was in my final year in junior high school.
So can you share with us some of the things you learned?
Yes, I mean everything about sex education.
Such as
when you do it, you will get pregnant.
What?
This thing, no. If you do this thing, you will get pregnant.
You mean when you have sex?
At that age, yes. When you have sex at
and
that age.
Why can't you say that?
I'm saying.
Is that the way they taught you to?
Oh, it's true.
Is that the way they taught you at your wife? Let's continue. Let's continue.
And that's what Fedori says. About 5 years old. And I think I agree with the Futu MP because we pretend to be teaching them about sex, and the youth to pretend they are also listening by parents. Moreover, give them condoms. Bam. And I said it. Yeah. Pius Chum says, from your mother's useless. Oh, what's he trying to say? Walanyo Akweche says, inside a flower village called Akame, I was forced into that act after I completed JSS. I was crying like a baby just because I wanted to be a Roman father.
Who forced you? Are you suggesting that you were raped?
That's what he's trying to say, Walanyo. And Rafik says, no one educated me on sex. I was only given a strong moral upbringing, which taught me God frowns against elegant sexual intercourse. Okay, the sexual intercourse, some are elegant. Okay, I never knew. Abdul Samad says, if you ever do it, you are dead, until they realized I was doing it and they started asking, when are you getting married? I see. And Abdallah Moro says, from my father from 5 years, I was so curious in everything, so he wasn't really joking with sex education. That Pa Gregory says, me, my mom to teach you sex education. Apu, I learned the thing on my own, moving up and down. Great feeling ever. Hey. And Frederick Soa said, I had mine at JSS. My teachers were keen in supporting the pupils, especially the girls, in knowing when their lives will be in danger with regards to sex. I remember the weekly lessons and taught my pupil. When I became a teacher, I advocate for a stronger education since it's really helped me. And it's true, it helped all of us. All right. Also, government today has inaugurated some new districts and municipalities across the country. Government believes the creation will further decentralize governance and empower local authorities to generate revenue for developmental projects. Question: do you think the creation of the new districts will accelerate development?
Probably because our population is increasing, so definitely we need an expansion like that. But apart from that, I don't see any developmental agenda like that.
So it's not going to accelerate development?
I can't tell.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Accelerate development in the local areas. Yes, in terms of infrastructures such as school buildings, electricity, hospitals, pipe-borne water, etc. So it will help to accelerate the development at our local areas.
Talking about the districts, it's a laudable thing the government is doing, because you have certain regions that have a very dense population. So with this creation of these new districts, it will help disperse funds accurately and in a very proportional way, because some areas get more funds whilst others struggle due to the size of the district. So as it's being dispersed now, I think it will go a long way to help these districts in the.
All right, a lot of your comments are on Facebook. Let's check them out.
Isa says, but did you know that some districts were created in the name of accelerating development, which was never realized? So how special is this? Samuel says it will because it will encourage and promote grassroots participation in governance. But the problem is the human resources needed. Azinka says government of the day has done its part. At least the basic things lies on the DC, MP and the people. If nothing at all, you now have a DC of your own, and so you can now embark on some of the petty projects that you used to lobby for when you were under a particular district. So I must say that it is better than being under a particular district. Dixon says, whether new districts are created or not, our attitudes as citizens of Ghana will tell whether development will be accelerated or not.
And Abdul Jalil says, look at it in a long-term manner and you will recognize the importance of decentralization. So yes, Bani Wisdom, right? Have we seen any development as a result of creation of previous district? If we have, then it's well. If not, then it is the same old story. And Borisa Kamal Dean says, their creation will enhance grassroots participation in governance. I think they would yield intended results. Mohammed Bipwe says, with His Excellency Nana Addo concerned, a big yes. This man is determined to positively transform Ghana. And Harry says our leaders should go and study in Rwanda. Really? Okay, so the story in Rwanda is that they did it the hard way. So if you want us to study in Rwanda, you should be ready to accept, you know, the hard way. Okay, and Baba Wala says this is not a matter to doubt. If 10 people had to share a loaf of bread and they are now divided into 2 groups, each to still have a loaf of bread, one does not need a rocket scientist to know the level of satisfaction will increase. Okay. And
there are 4 replies there. I'm
okay, so let's see the replies.
How people reply to that. So Komla says, poor logic. If 10 people have to share a loaf of bread and now they have been divided into groups, each group of 5 still have a loaf to share.
Half the value
is the same. It is not the division, but rather resources. And then Baba Wala says, half a loaf? Do you mean to say in sharing the national cake to districts, it will be reduced because there is creation of new districts? Asemo. Dan Klein says, Baba Wala, no, he didn't say that. Don't try to turn things around. He commented specifically on your logic. And then Lawan David says, poor logic. Ghana revenue generation still remains the same. More districts brings nothing new.
Okay. All right, and finally, social media has made it possible for us to connect with old friends, family worldwide. But what if your ex keeps following you and just commenting on every post you put on social media and also attacks your partner? Would you respond if your partner's ex attacked you on social media? And there are some interesting comments on Facebook. Okay. Let's check them out.
Jamna Fosu David says, if he attacks me on social media, I will also attack him on spiritual network.
Hey!
We will see whose action is visible for prosecution. I beg, no do so. So Obama says, I would give him a good run for his money. I mean a fantastic showdown, because verbal diarrhea begets verbal injections.
Hey!
Charlie says, oh, that, I guess the person would attack after stalking me. So for the best revenge, I'm only going to continue being classy. At the end of the day, the one who talks too much going to lose. Then I take my pride. Benny P says, how much is a can of Coke, Seth? Inkata says, ha ha ha, why will I mind him? I'm focused on my lady and got no time to waste on him. I'd rather use my bundle to chat with Bay. Okay. And Obiadepa says, are you bisexual from him to a lady? Okay, so yeah. And then Kaza says, yeah, him. Or you didn't get the question well. My partner's sex should be a male. Realist says, I will advise him to save his 1 CD bundle so that he can chat his little girlfriend online. Because when I start with him, he will need 1,000 terabytes.
Sky to McDaniel says, I will not, because the best way to answer a fool is to keep quiet. Abu Bonsha says, what good thing has ever come from an ex? Oh, come on. Why do you say that?
No, this is savage.
That's harsh.